Okay, this is Dan Smith again. This is the second video in a series on the JSON module at modulefilemaker.org. And in the first video, I took this JSON, converted it to LetNotation, and extracted data from it. In this video, what I'm going to do is create JSON from LetNotation. And more specifically, it's about how to create the LetNotation in the first place to match the output format JSON that you'd like. So I'm going to start by, let's see, this first video was on the JSON.fm tab. I'm going to start this the current new video on the FM to JSON tab. And what I'm going to do actually is, before I start anything, do sort of test-driven development here. I'm going to write some tests that I know the result of from the first video. So I'm going to go down. I know that when I parse this LetNotation with this calculation, the result is foo. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to say that equals foo, which is currently false. And then I'll go down, and I know that equals bar. That calculation equals bar. So that equals bar. Now this expression here, this calculation, is referencing this field, which is currently blank. Therefore it's returning an empty result. And this is basically just evaluating this result. So it's the exact same thing as putting this calculation into the data viewer. This format just makes it easier to play with and do some tests. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write LetNotation right here. And I'm going to start by looking at the JSON that I'm trying to match the output of. And again, the premise here is that you likely are wanting to send JSON to a web service or something to that effect, and you know the format that it's expected in, and you just need to create that JSON in that format. So I'm going to start by looking at the JSON. Now the first character we see here is the curly bracket, and if we go to json.org, we know that that is the start of an object, which is a name-value pair. So, whoops. In FileMaker, we create, and the name of that object is array. So in FileMaker, we create name-value pairs or objects with the name-value function. And I'll just show you that it's a custom function. It's this one here, hashtag name-value or hash name-value. And so that will create a name-value pair. The value is currently null because we haven't gotten to the value yet. So now we move into the next stage. So the value is all this, and we know that the value starts with a square bracket. Whoops. So again, we'll go back to, I seem to have closed it. We go back to json.org, and square bracket is the start of an array, which is a comma-separated list of values. So an array for the JSON module is created with the, see, I'm going to be indenting my code to make it easier to read. So an array is created with the list, because it's a list of it's a list of values. So it's creating with the hash list function, custom function. And I'll just show you the custom functions again. So it's this one here, hash list value. The parameter is just a value. So we can parse that to make sure it parses properly. So now that tossed in our array. So now we need to give that array a value. So the value of this array, again, starts with the curly bracket, so we know it's a name-value pair. The value is the name is object. The value is foo. So I'm going to give the value of that array Again, more indenting. Name is object. I think the value is foo. And we'll parse that. So it's parsing properly. We've got object, the name value pair object foo. Next name value pair is value and bar. Now to concatenate, to add two name value pairs, you just concatenate the text. So I just got an and value bar. So that should parse. Yes, it parsed. Evaluated. And it looks like our unit test's already evaluating as true. So I wasn't even watching as I went through there, but let's just take out bar. I'm going to cut that, parse it again. So right now our unit test for foo passed because I've already added that data. Our unit test for bar has not passed because I haven't added the data yet. If I paste it in there, parse it, it's evaluated for true. So we already know that our tests are working. I just didn't add tests for the second set of values, which, you know what, I might as well do that. Let's see. The value was going to be other thing. So I'm going to, for the second value, a second array value, grab object, should be other thing. Object. And that's going to be, sorry, what is that value? Some value. Okay, sorry, I didn't plan on didn't plan on creating those, but I'm realizing that to use this test-driven development, I really should have those in there. So that gave us our first set of first array value there. Now to I guess go back here. Next character we run into is a comma. So it's a comma separated list of values. Then we get into object and other thing as our name value pair. So this was our first array value. This is our second array value. So I've got to start a new list. And again, we're just concatenating text, just like the name value pair. And our list contains a list of name value pairs. Object. What was that value? Other thing. Now at that point our unit test should pass here if I typed everything right. Other thing to object. And it hasn't. What did I do wrong? Oh, I didn't parse it yet. So now our unit test passed. And our next value there is value and some value. Concatenate text. Parse it, generates the LetNotation and the JSON. Go down and check our unit test. Passed. So there I just created this JSON, even though it doesn't have white space or it's not pretty printed. This should be functionally equivalent to this source JSON that we were trying to generate. So I just showed you how you can look through every element, nest your calculations, and create the LetNotation you need. And when you click this parse button, or this one, it's sending this LetNotation to the module, and it's returning the JSON here, generated JSON there. So that I just showed you how to create JSON from LetNotation, create it in the JSON in the format you need for whatever it is you need it for, and also how to utilize the sample file, like the sandbox and even the unit test sections. I kind of turned this into a unit test, but really you could also do it over in this unit test section, which is what I use to verify the module's working properly. So I hope that helps out.